Hello everyone, welcome to Craft Night with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And today we are making some very cute DIY holiday wreaths. We're going to be making them out of either coat hangers or wire bases, some tissue paper, some strips of garbage bag that I've cut up sort of into these strips here. You're going to need the blaster, a hot glue gun. You can just get this at the dollar store. You're going to need some construction paper, out of which you'll cut some cute little leaves, as well as an old book you don't care too much about. Some tape just in case, some accessories from nature or the dollar store, as well as some backup glue, some ribbons as an accessory, and some scissors and pencils for tracing. So let's get started on this very fun but a little complicated craft. So first we have to form the wreath base. So for those who got coat hangers, all you have to do is just stretch out the hanger into a circle shape. That way we can have a circular wire that we'll put our tissue paper and garbage bags on, and it'll mostly resemble a wreath shape. Something like that even. You won't really be able to notice how imperfect it is just because of how fluffy the tissue paper is gonna get. So once you have this, or if you already have a wire rack, you can take some tissue paper and just kind of crumple it up around the whole of the wreath base. So you would take tissue paper, oh my goodness, what a mess. Take tissue paper and wrap it around the whole thing. And then what you're going to want to do is have garbage bag that's been cut into strips. So this is kind of what our strips are looking like. And you're just going to wrap the garbage bag around that tissue paper strip so that we have that puffiness on the inside. We don't see the messy tissue paper on the outside. And then you're just going to want to do this around the whole thing. You're going to have to tape maybe a few times, sort of parts of the garbage bag to other parts, and the garbage bag up here to the hook. But eventually you should have something that looks like this. As you can see, this has been taped up here, and we've got the garbage bag covering the tissue paper all around, and we have this wonderful sort of puffy shape which we can now start putting our wreath ornaments on. So for the substance of the wreath, we're going to be using paper leaves. So I've got this very cute olive colored paper, and I've also found a book that no one is ever going to want to read, Canadian Politics in the 1990s, 3rd edition. So I've cut out some pages from this, and we've cut out some leaf shapes. The best way to do this is to sort of cut out one leaf shape that you like. So say you draw this on a piece of paper and you like the way it's looking, then you can just take that and trace it a whole bunch of times just onto some paper. And then you've got 80 of the leaf shapes that you want. You just gotta cut them all out. Same thing with the regular paper. And then I've also got a little accent color because I ran out of mine, and I think this purple is gonna look really cute with the olive. Another tip for making these leaves look really nice and substantial is actually to fold them in half a bit. And that way when they're on the wreath, they're gonna kind of look three-dimensional, and they're gonna stick out, as you can see. So I recommend you take all your leaves, and before you glue them on, you just sort of give them a good fold in half. It's gonna give them some body. Now we're ready to glue. So you wanna make sure you've got your hot glue gun plugged in. You've got one of these little glue sticks stuck in there. And as you can see, ours is already dripping glue, and we're ready to glue. So the sort of pattern we're looking for here is just a bunch of overlapping leaves pointing in one direction around. So you're going to want to pick a spot of your choice and then start gluing leaves all over top of each other around that point. And you all want them facing in the same direction, sort of. So if we start, my glue gun has a limited cord here. If you start, you kind of just want to some hot glue on your leaf. Use your little trigger there and just place it right down on the wreath where you like. And from here on, you can kind of just choose how you want to do it. Again, just where you want to glue. I've got my leaf here. And the hot glue will dry very quickly. Just make sure you're careful not to get the glue right out of the gun on you, just because it will be hot and it won't feel very good. Now we can just work our way around the wreath and see how it looks. We've managed to come up with this wreath after about a half hour of gluing and some very selective pasting. We've ended up with a wreath that I'm pretty happy with. I've got a few tips as you're doing your gluing. First of all, you're probably going to need a few glue sticks. I think I used 3 or 4. Second, I used about 3 sheets of craft paper. That's the green and purple. And then I'm not sure how many pages of leaves, but if you have a book, you should have plenty of pages. Another tip, if you get these little gluey strands of hot glue, if you just want your wreath to look a bit better, you can sort of just pick those off as you go, as you find them, but they're kind of hard to notice amongst all this stuff going on. And one last tip, if you don't like how much of the garbage bag you're seeing, you can either pull some tighter and tape it back, or you can do what I did, and I went in and I made almost like a second layer of leaves here, and I sort of pasted them over the parts of the garbage bag, and so you can't see it as well. There's actually sort of a second layer here, so you can't really see the garbage bag as much. So now we get to put on some accessories. So this step is totally up to you. I know we didn't send you many accessories, but the great thing is that the dollar store has all sorts of little things like these little bells. We found a little clip-on bird that clips. We've got some pine cones here that might be able to be hot glued to the wreath, as well as some clip-on flowers and stuff. You can also take stuff from nature if you want. You can take pine cones from the ground or some winter berries, and kind of just do whatever you want. So I think I'm gonna hot glue some bells to it, maybe clip on this little guy and see how it looks. Okay, and after some more hot glue gunning, we've got some cute bells. I've got my little clip-on bird. I've got my little flower here right in the middle. That was pretty easy. Again, just make sure you're careful with the glue gun, especially when you're handling small things like this. You want to make sure none gets on your fingers. Now actually we just have to tie a ribbon, and while you can hang it from this hook here, we're going to make sure that we can kind of tie it with our ribbon too. So I have my ribbon here. I just have it so that it is a little bit longer, than my wreath here, and that some stretches under it, and there's enough here to have like a loop on the top side of our wreath. So what you want to do with this is make that loop, make sure you have both sides are even, so that these are even when you hold it up like this. And then just cross it over, make a loop essentially. Like that. And then you're just gonna wanna hot glue that loop into place. Now that you have it like that, you can just take it underneath it. Make sure, this one you really want to be adhesive, so make sure you've got it good. And then hot glue your loop into place. Now this is going to make sure that we can hang it on something. Of course, if you have a wire rack, you can hang it by that, or if there's any other sort of way that you want to hang it, try that. This is the method that I saw online. So we've got that now. Should be able to hang on to something. This is just sort of a little decorative addition. And then you're going to want to turn your wreath over as gently as possible. And you're going to want to find the top of your wreath. Ours is right here, the top center. And just now hot glue this into place here. And then you'll have a way to hook on your wreath to something. So I'm gonna hot glue this off screen and we'll show you what it looks like. As you can see, we hot glued the loop here. I made sure to use a lot of hot glue because this is gonna hold the whole weight of the wreath. And we can see that it holds. So now you have a way to hang up your wreath. Now we're just gonna throw a bow tie on there. All you gotta do for a bow tie is just like you'd tie your shoes, make 2 loops evenly, and then tie it up. Once again, I find myself explaining knots and first of all, not being very good at tying them myself. And second of all, assuming that you probably have someone there who can tie a bow for you, but that's okay. So we've got our bow tie. Again, no one ties a perfect bow tie the first try, is what I read on the internet. And we're just going to hot glue this bow tie onto the front here for some flair, and then we can see what it looks like hung up. So we've hot glued our bow there, as you can see. I'm not the best bow tyer, but that's all right. You can see the hot glue there. See where this is glued in the back. And we actually decided to glue what's coming down from this loop here that it hangs from. Instead of it just hanging limply right down the middle, we've got it hot glued there to the back. So you get a lot of fun kind of like center action here, and then you make sure these kind of stay separate, and it looks really nice. So you can try that, hot glue those there, hot glue your bow there, and now we're ready to hang it up. So if you have some kind of hook on the center of your door, that'll work great. We don't have any of those, but we do have a lot of door knobs. So we'll take our wreath here and we're just gonna hang it off our closet door. Now, of course, if you have a wire hanger, you're gonna have this, and you can use that to hang it as well. Or you can bend it sideways or sort of twist it off, whatever you like. But that's how it's looking all hung up. So I hope you've enjoyed our craft today, making DIY practically dollar store wreaths. If you make one, please send it to us, either a video or an image. You can send it over Facebook. We'd love to see them. And look out for the rest of our events that we have going on this December. We'll see you next time, everyone. Take care.